Hey, welcome back. Time for us to peek behind the kitchen doors with the man who spent, well, most of his life behind those doors, making wonderful meals for the rest of us to share and enjoy. Let's enjoy the company of Chef Pascal. Welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Actually, Paul is our producer in the show, and today, well, actually, we be just Paul and I.
Okay, I'll accept that.
I'm my own guest.
You're going to do something we've never done before. You're going to kind of not just talk to the audience, but sort of interview yourself, I guess.
Actually, I think it could be ego, but
okay, that could be.
but
Chefs don't have any ego. Come on.
No, ego aside, I like to share my professional life.
You've had an amazing career.
Because I think a lot of people are looking for a life like me. I've been very lucky. I've done a lot of things that I love. And so my passion keep on going, and I want to share my passion and my experience.
You got to cook for Brigitte Bardot. I'll never let that one go.
And more.
And more. Many more, but that one impresses me.
Yeah. I have a whole list, but but why am I here with no other guest today? Well, this is part of our business, like when you own a business. Sometimes your main employee or your manager calling sick.
Yeah.
And we had a great chef scheduled to be here today, and this morning he didn't feel good. So I own my seat, and so I decided, like a chef or restaurant owner, hey, this is me. I take care of it. I jump in,
Yeah.
Don't give up. So here I am. So I'm going to, some question I'm going to ask myself, talk to the audience and give some response.
And some of these are questions that we had built up anyway that people have sent in. Since we started the show, we keep referring to you as the GOAT, greatest of all time. Certainly you were here in the early days of Orange County transitioning from being sleepy suburbia into what it is today, an international destination. You were kind of a pioneer or part of that pioneering group of chefs that came in here and did that. So we've had people come in and ask us questions. We threw some of those in here, or maybe I'll throw in some.
I'm a pioneer, but from a modern time. Right?
A modern pioneer, okay.
But are you going to hear Paul's voice sometime? Because today I gave him a little green light if he has any questions. So he's very happy about that.
Don't get in front of the chef here. He's cooking.
Yeah, but if anybody in the audience want to send us a question, how do they send that?
They can do it one of two ways. We do have a call-in line today. It's hard to get people to take advantage of that, but they can call 949-824-1200, which is UCI 1200, if they want to really go on the air. But if they just want to ask a question, they can go to Twitter, go to OC Talk Radio, or X as it's called,
Okay.
And just type in something, and we'll try and watch the...
I would love that, ask me, and...
ask a question.
Yes. So, I'm here to represent the culinary industry, but also as a chef and as a restaurant owner for many years. And there's more to that because now I'm teaching at Saddleback College.
Show up the shirt. You got to show off the shirt. You got
Yes,
the logo on the
right
shirt
there.
here.
Look at that.
Chef
Saddleback
Pascal,
College. I'm
Saddleback College,
very-
teaching a new generation of chefs.
very proud of that. It's an accomplishment of a career that I can share my knowledge. And so, as a guest, I asked myself, why do I want to be in a culinary industry? Do I like food? Do I like to cook? Yes, I like both. And how did that come to me? Well, a lot of chefs are like me, say, well, my mother was a great cook, and we had great meals at home. My dad was not that bad either, but well, he recognized that he let my mother cook more than he did. So she really encouraged me to come in the kitchen. She even teach me how to make a mayonnaise from scratch when I was 14 years old, and by hand with a spoon until the spoon almost stand up. So that was my number one specialty at that
I mean,
time.
mayonnaise doesn't come from the supermarket? That's where I thought it. I don't know even what
Sure.
in mayonnaise. It
But
comes in a jar. That's all I know.
mainly in America.
Exactly. Exactly.
But you know, you have to be careful because you use raw egg yolks. There's some tips for that to make sure it's safe. for
And you
you.
actually have your mother's recipes. One of our early shows when we were setting this up, you brought that in.
Yes.
A whole
yes.
book of her recipes.
Yes, totally. Well, that's very important. If you like to cook, try to save your family's recipes. It's very special, you know, and you pass it from generation to generation.
I got to interrupt for 1 second. You had a chef in here last week, I think it was last week, who does catering now. The people up in Long Beach, whose name escaped me now. What was it? What's the name? The chef, the woman and husband and wife team from Long Beach?
Paul Buchanan
Paul Buchanan, right.
and his wife. Yeah.
And I was struck by the fact, as I'm always struck when people come in here that know you, you asked him something like, give me a dish that you really like. And they both looked at each other and said, some sauce.
Oh,
Seafood sauce.
my seafood
You-
sauce.
Tell us, I know you're going to go in and talk about your history, but
Yeah,
tell us that.
let's talk cooking a little bit for
Yeah,
a minute.
Right.
Well, I'm very advocate to make everything from scratch
Okay.
in my kitchen.
And so were they. They were very big
Yes,
on that. Right.
and lunch and dinner, I don't use a whole sauce. I make a fresh sauce every between shift. And so I like also reductions. I make sauce like a good winemaker, you know, because cooking is physics and chemistry at the same time,
Right.
and artistic, and also you know, flavorful. And so you start with a little bit of white wine, a little shallot. You reduce to burn the alcohol. You reduce it, and once it's reduced halfway, use a cup or so. You add some shellfish into it, like mussels and shrimp shell and scallop pieces if you have, and then you cook this a little bit, and then you add some heavy cream into it, quite a lot, you know, even though it sounds rich, but it's not that rich. And then you boil all this, or simmer everything together, put some herbs like fresh thyme and no rosemary, it's too strong, fresh thyme and parsley, and then after that you strain that sauce. And when you, before serving, you bring back to heavy simmering and finish a little bit of butter. So, but you have to strain all that because you don't want to eat all this piece of fish. All you have is just the essence of the seafood in that sauce. And when you have a spoon of that cream sauce, you feel like you're eating a seafood dish just right there.
Amazing. I've watched chefs. I don't know if they do it as much of the idea of reduction. You boil everything away till it's almost just like a little burned residue left. Maybe that's
Wow.
extreme. And then you keep adding water to it and you reduce the
Water?
liquid down. Or, I'm sorry, whatever. Yeah, water.
You make stocks,
Stock.
vegetable stock, or fish stock, or chicken stock.
Do chefs still do that? Reduce?
I
down and make
do.
their own
I
sauce?
do
You
all the stocks, you know, from fish, vegetable, because we have vegetable scrap. So what do you do with vegetable scrap? You use them in stocks, either for chicken stock or other. So you know, talking about recycling, we don't waste anything in the kitchen.
No.
Believe me. And
But do you think, on a quick aside, I'm not trying to call out anybody, but if I went to most restaurants in Orange County today, or anywhere, are they putting that much effort into, or they cut corners by buying stock,
well,
buying stuff?
I'm a little bit extreme on that.
I think
So
you
not
are.
everybody does that. And a lot of kitchen also pre-seared or pre-cook some meat and
Yes,
fish
right.
and let them sit until the customer order it. No, I cook the fish in one pan. Your fish is cooked individual, or if I have two or three others at the same time in one pan. And most of the time I make also the sauce in the pan where sear the fish or sear the beef or sear the lamb and make the sauce in that pan. So we don't waste. Talking about wasting, I don't waste any flavors, everything there. And then even if I let it sit somewhere until, because your meat needs to rest or you feel there's a little dripping, I put that dripping back into the sauce. So you have a complete experience of what.
Well, I don't want to waste any more time. Sorry to get you off on a track here. I know you have a lot of things you want to share
We need
about
to do a special show just on cooking.
But that is part of what makes you unique.
Well, and the uniqueness is part of what I want to talk today.
Good.
Everybody, a lot of people, young lady, young boys are dreaming these days, oh, I want to become a chef and I want to have my own restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't happen overnight. So I always suggest that you go to culinary school, learn as much as you can, and the best you can. You see if you can, you appreciate cooking. Take some job on weekends. Go to some restaurant, good high quality restaurant. Don't waste yourself flipping burgers. Just go to a top restaurant, even though you're not going to be paid much, and sometimes you work almost for free. I don't think they can do that here, but in France, they don't care.
In France, they don't care. Go in the kitchen,
Yeah.
work for free.
And, sometimes working for free, that means you are working for a reason. You want to learn. And if you go to 2 or 3 different kitchens, there's always some good and some bad. So just forget the bad, just remember the good.
You had that other gentleman in, another husband-wife team, whose name I forget now, just in time. Was it Brandon?
Yeah, Brendan.
And he said he started very late in life, didn't go to culinary school, I don't think, and instead just loved to cook. He was in construction.
Yeah.
And started working just what you did, part-time. I'll wash the dishes, I'll do anything. I'm still working construction to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
But on the weekends or whenever he could, he worked in kitchens almost for free just to learn and to get experience.
And he's an amazing chef.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's all about passion.
Yeah, clearly.
And anybody who wants to own a restaurant, if you're a chef, you have a good paycheck or stuff, that's fine. But if you own a restaurant and you're a chef owner, don't worry. Sometimes you may not be able to get a paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, you're working 24/7
Yes.
all the time, and
Yeah.
you may not have any money left to pay yourself.
Because I tell you, there's some rules to open a restaurant.
Okay.
First, you have to know enough. First, you have to have your education on being safe in the kitchen with the F permit and everything.
Yeah,
You have
you
to-
got to make good food, and you got to make it safely. right?
Yeah, and you have to learn how to maintain your restaurant. Because you become an engineer or electrician or plumber or everything.
Fix the ice machine.
The
and
ice
everything.
machine, the refrigerator, everything. You
Right.
learn all that beside cooking. And then, so if you open a restaurant, I always tell, because I do some speech sometimes for young entrepreneurs who want to open their own business, and say, if you want to open your own business, no matter what type of business you want, you need to have a strong business plan. And you have to plan ahead, not I'm going to be special, I'm going to be very successful. Well, yeah, but just in case you don't have the success.
Just in case.
Success is
You better know
same
what
thing.
you're doing. I thought it was funny. I'm gonna shout out one of your other guests, Susan Irby, was in here. Susan Irby clearly knows how to cook. She's written books. She hosted a show on KBC about cooking with chefs and stuff. And on the side, she dreamed about opening her own restaurant. And she, according to her interview with you, said you talked her out of it. Because you
I
said,
say keep on dreaming.
yeah, because you really don't know what you're getting for. It's more than just having fun, making cool food. It's all the things you just said. It's a business.
The cooking part is the best part. It's like I will compare cooking with acting.
Mm,
Okay,
okay.
you have some good actors who have a natural, but if you're an actor that learn how to act for the audience, then there's a good chance that you are going to be better than others. And also, one thing I want to say, uh, everybody wants to be a chef today, and they think that they give themselves a label or a name and say, "I'm a chef." Look, and no, it's you have to earn that name.
And there isn't one path to get there. Clearly, there are culinary schools where you can learn the craft. That doesn't mean you can be a commercial chef and serve the public.
Yeah, I have to say some, I won't say names, but some major culinary schools say, "Oh, you take our courses for 3 years and then you become a chef." No, in the kitchen, it's like a crew on a boat.
Okay.
The chef is the captain, all right? And then you have all these levels, and you have you enter cook, you have a first cook, and you have a line cook, and then you have a sous chef, and then you have the chef.
Right.
And so it's like, you have to earn your grade, and then you have to prove that you can do it, and the chef will decide, and you have to listen to the chef too, because the chef give you orders. Believe me, we have to give orders, and the crew has to listen.
Not just the public bringing orders from the back, the wait staff. I wonder, today's kitchens, if most of them have come up that way, most of the chefs there, or did they just go to school and they got hired out of school? And, in other words, is it a trade? Is it that you apprentice? It used to be you had some basic skill. Maybe you got better at a school, but it was an apprenticeship. You watched somebody, you followed somebody, you learned from them. Now the idea is I go to school and then I come out and I get a job.
Well, it's like in any artisanal job,
Right. That's the key. It's an artisanal job.
It's an artisanal job, and if you're good at it, there's a good chance you don't have to go through all these steps because you're just good. If you have good voice and you sing well,
Right.
you'll be maybe successful, but still you have to open the right doors to be known, and then so that's another thing too. You have to market yourself. Once you want to open a restaurant, I always tell people, okay, businessman, don't think you're going to make money overnight and probably going to lose some, but to not lose some, you need to have enough to open. So I always tell people, think how much revenue you're going to do in your restaurant and how much of the bills you're going to have to pay. So you need to have enough
To cover that.
reserve for at least 3 to 4 months.
So
once
who
you
teaches
open.
you the business part? Who teaches you about rent? Who teaches you about buying supplies and keeping them from going bad? Who teaches you about marketing and customer service and all that?
That is a great question. And now that I'm actually teaching cooking at Saddleback College, I want to be involved because we're moving to a new place in Tustin.
The culinary school that you're
It's a culinary school. It's called, I forgot the name, ATEP. ATEP. It means it's going to be Advanced Technology Education Park. And
Isn't that over at the Great Park somewhere there?
no. It's by those big
The blimp hangers, yeah.
the hangers.
Exactly, because the community colleges have built a campus there, and they're I don't know exactly what it is, but they're teaching a lot
more
of stuff.
Saddleback because they have automotive, because
Right.
you need to learn all these techniques.
They have a
and
great
technology,
automotive program, yeah.
Electronics fixing. You're not just a mechanic fixing oil leaks now. You have to fix electronics.
Computers, it's all computers under the hood.
So we are going to have a culinary department there, and so talking about what you said about who teach you to open and run a restaurant.
The business
Well,
part, nobody, yeah.
You learn as you go along, and I'm trying to have that kind of power to teach people who want to be in business and restaurant business. Say this is what you're going to face. This is what you need to know before, and then like that, it's easier for you to actually have a successful business. It's not just cooking.
Just for a while years ago, I ran a business where we did entitlements, and that means we got liquor licenses and we got conditional use permits for a restaurant, because you can't just rent a space and open it. You usually have to get some sort of there's conditions.
You need a
attached to the use.
conditional use permit.
And then going through the health department. Those are the big three. And that was a nightmare for most people. They didn't know how to go through the health department, which is very strange and very
No.
picky.
You have to smile.
Is that it?
You have to be nice with the clerks. You know, I learned that on my own. I never opened a business before. And at my first restaurant, I had no idea. I said, okay, I need to get permit. I need to apply for liquor license.
Right.
So I find my way to find the right people to do it. And then I was told, you need to have a general contractor. What?
Right,
When the general contractor gave me the proposal, says there's no way I can pay that.
right.
So I
To
decided
build out the interior
yeah.
space. To do
So I
dependent
decided to
improvements,
say,
right.
okay, I need a plumber, I need a carpenter, I need a painter, and maybe a friend of mine or an interior designer is going to help me.
Right.
And an electrician, okay? So everything, you know? And I'm going to be the general contractor myself.
Which you can do as a
I did.
restaurant owner.
And I went to a restaurant every day before opening. So because actually sometimes it goes faster if you do that, because a general contractor are busy doing more than one job at a time.
Right.
And
They have to go, everything you build has to be permitted and approved. You can't just build
and
counters and bathrooms.
I went to get the permits all by myself. City, health department, consult with the fire department.
And did you know how to even draw up the plans and to present them? And
Well,
the
you can
blueprints and
draw
everything?
your own plan.
Yes, you
and
can,
then
but doesn't mean
all-
everybody knows how to do it.
I did ask one architect to give me especially the mechanical plan with like all the connection,
The HVAC and the electrical and all that,
plumbing,
right.
that I could not do. But the first plan is a floor plan, so I draw my own floor plan, and because I say, this part will be kitchen, this part will be dining room. We divide that, and then we'll be fine. And if you do it proportionally, measure on a piece of paper, it doesn't have to be a blueprint. You can go to a city and present that.
You can. I've done this process. Can I give you just one example of what can go wrong? Just one example from my experience. This was my restaurant. I built a nothing as fine as you. It was like a sports bar in Mission Viejo. And we same thing. We're going to be our own general contractors. We're going to figure all this out. And we had somebody, when it came to the kitchen, came in with, we were buying the kitchen equipment from them. They said, you buy this, you need one of these, and everything. And we'll drop the little floor plan for the kitchen for you that you can present. And they convinced me that you got to have something gritty on the floor so you don't slip water and stuff back there. It's okay, makes sense. We put the tile in, and then they came out and inspected it from the health department. City was okay with it.
Yeah.
And they said, what's this? I said, it's grit. All got to come up. We had to rip all the tile because grit might accumulate dust and dirt and everything
yes,
here.
yes.
It has to be totally polished
There's
and
a
flat.
percentage of sleepiness. You has to be a little slippery, but not
Yes.
much.
So I got wrong advice,
No,
and my
yeah.
cost was I had to rip it all up and do it
Yeah.
over again.
Because you have to be able to wash it properly.
Right,
I used to hose down my floor every night,
Right.
and that's why you need good, clean floor drain. You know,
But so
because,
nobody tells you that. So you go in, you
No.
think what you're doing makes sense, and to them it makes no sense.
Well, sometimes if you actually go back to what I said earlier, sometimes if you walk in places that have been established and seriously established, you learn that.
Clearly.
You know, they make you clean the kitchen as a
But these
cook.
kids coming out of your
them.
cooking classes at Saddleback many of them think, I'm ready. I'm going to open up my restaurant. I'm
Well,
not going to go work for anybody. I'm going to fulfill my dream. And they're in for a nightmare.
actually, at Saddleback, we try to make them learn some of the outside. We make them do all the dishes. We make them do clean the floor. We make them do cleaning the stove, everything, after every class. You know, so it's very important. They don't go there just for cooking. I think they already have a
Can I
good sense.
make an emphasis on that? You've had some chef was in here a while ago. I forgot who. Maybe it was one of the guys that are doing cooking, catering. And you all laughed and just quickly said, well, I started off washing dishes.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks you're kidding. No, in fine restaurants, in many restaurants, that is your first job, washing. And you even said, I think it was you, said, I was never afraid. Up until the time I closed my restaurant, if somebody had to go wash a dish, I wasn't going to say, I'm too good for this. I don't touch the
No.
dish anymore here.
Because I'm very picky about that. When I close my door of the restaurant, I want to make sure everything is clean. There's no dirty dishes sitting around. There's no dirty residue in the floor drain. You know, because you come back the next day. And if I had to bleach some table, I just bleach it. You know, just.
But you're the chef. You're the owner. You would think, I'm beyond this. That was for the kids starting. I don't get my hands dirty like that
You know,
anymore.
there's nothing better when you come in the morning and you look around, your kitchen smells good, you know, and you start everything clean. And, you know, you're not afraid to cut a fillet of fish on the table on the nice, clean cutting board. And you know it's going to be safe and you know it's going to be good. You know, if I have to cut a fish on the dirty cutting board, I won't eat it myself. You know?
One of the things I loved as a restaurant owner and as a restaurant goer, patron, was when we changed to open kitchens 20 or 30 years ago. This notion that you could see into the kitchen from the front of the house.
It did help. It did help actually to have cleaner kitchen.
I think so.
I-
Because they couldn't
I-
have
I-
all those dirt.
Believe me,
Back in the
I've
day.
been in kitchen. They were all enclosed in the blockhouse, you know.
Yeah, right.
and then
Blockhouse, yeah.
because the visit kitchen they were up or restaurant they were off to take over, and then you pull out some of the appliances. It looked like they'd never been cleaned behind the stove or behind the broiler. You know. So I say I can't believe I ate there. You know. So
One of the things I got to do too as a restaurant consultant, helping people set up restaurants, which was mostly the permits. We'd go in and look at closed restaurants. This one's just closed, and the stuff is all there. Hey, you can take it over. And you'd gag. You'd walk back there. The mile of grease piled on all the equipment like nobody had ever cleaned it.
well, first it's going to be extra work to get it in if you you sign the lease, and you have to work out a deal with the landlord.
Yeah.
You know, same thing. Another thing, you have to know how to read a lease.
Oh, that's a whole art in
It's
itself.
very key. You know, I say, you have a landlord. You don't know how nice or not nice is your landlord. Your landlord wants you to sign as soon as possible the last page of your lease.
And I'll give you another horror story. I'll use myself as a bit what not to do. So we had a place called Kellamecuse in Mission Viejo, and we went through. It was open for like almost 10 years. It was a sports bar, so we had a restaurant and stuff in the back. We went through 5 landlords. So the original landlord, who was very nice, he's long since gone. There's 5 people bought and sold this shopping center. Now, fire takes place in the shopping center. Whole shopping center burns down, including our restaurant.
Wow.
Our lease didn't ever say anything about that. So the landlord came in and said, this voids your current lease. I'm going to double your rent.
Oh.
And I will give you back a blank space.
Can I say you something?
Yeah.
I wonder who put the center on fire.
Yeah, all right. Everybody assumed it was us. No, we had a successful business. And what happened is it killed the business because not only did our rent go up, they used that as an excuse, but here's what we didn't anticipate. When we opened the restaurant, we got, as part of the negotiation, tenant improvements. They put $100,000 into the building to build the bathrooms and to build the kitchen for us. That was the only way we'd do it. So we negotiated that. They really wanted us bad, and we got it. Now the restaurant burns. Our insurance sucked, so we didn't have enough money to pay that stuff. And the landlord said, I'll give you what's called a vanilla shell. I'm going to give you
Sure.
empty room. You build the bathrooms. You build the kitchen. I said,
Yeah.
that's like a couple $100,000. We don't have
Sure.
that money sitting around.
Say, we bring water to you, we bring gas, but
Yeah.
you have to do everything else.
I said, but the original landlord did it for us. He's gone.
Yeah.
And your lease doesn't say if this burns down that we got to rebuild
So
it for you.
I always suggest it's less costly, but not that costly, because if you don't do it, it will cost you more.
It costs us the business.
Hire an attorney who can read your lease before you sign it.
Killed our business after
Take
10
your
years.
time to do that and spend a few $100s to do it. That will save your life of your business.
Absolutely. I could go on and tell you, Horace, but of trying to do it yourself, the mistakes we made that eventually killed a successful business.
And talking about that too, there's one license that's take a long time, is liquor.
Oh, that was my specialty, getting liquor license.
Liquor license is very key to be able to open. You always have a plan of when to open.
Yes.
But really the first thing is health department and liquor license.
And I can't tell you the number of people who called me in as a consultant later and said, I've already got a business going. I'm paying rent. And either one, I can't open because of something, or two, I don't have a liquor license. So we're opening without it, trying to tell everybody, it's coming. It's coming.
No, yeah, well, your business already suffer because of that.
Yeah.
Well, this is why, again, you have to learn how to be strong when you sign a lease. You have to negotiate with the landlord.
But you got to know what you're doing.
Yes, but you learn it.
You learn it the hard way, or
Sometimes you do.
or you
Yeah.
get somebody who knows.
And also, there's some numbers are keys in business. Huh?
Can I give you one more example? So you're laughing because I'm just being an example of how stupid we're. A bunch of buddies now we're going to open a bar, right? So nobody ever told us the term. None of us have been bartenders. We've never done this. What's your pour cost?
Yeah.
What does it cost per every time you pour something? I don't know what the pour cost was. Our pour cost, we had somebody come in after a couple of years and look at it, was like, I think it's supposed to be 20% or something, 20%. Ours was almost 50%. Because we were pouring tons of stuff in there.
Well,
we didn't
yeah.
know what we were doing.
Well, I will say the other question. What's your pour size?
Which are what?
The size of your
Oh,
pouring.
the pour size was
Okay,
heavy.
because if you have a bartender who want to make his guest happy or work on his tips,
Exactly.
you always give more
A strong
than a
pour.
normal person of
And it was
liquor.
walking out the back door. They're stealing it, so that
Well,
adds to your
no,
pour
that's,
cost
you
and
know,
everything.
you have to be the police as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of that we were ready for. We didn't know. We thought we were giving out a good, steady. No wonder people loved
Sure.
our bar because we were giving a heavy pour and we're losing our butts.
Sure. Yeah, but the guests know that. They come, they come back and make you lose more money.
Right. And we thought, look how many people are here.
And so there are numbers. So that means you have to keep inventories. Inventory is very important.
Yeah.
And you have to know how many serving you have per bottle, so the wine
Right.
or liquor. And then you can now, the good thing, computers
Yeah.
helping you.
Probably helps.
You
Right?
can enter, your...
Did you ever weigh your
Right.
bottles afterwards to see how much of it had been poured? And somebody recommended we actually weigh the bottles?
Actually, there's some bar that, and I did that, and the bartender wasn't happy. Every night I make a line.
Yeah,
I mark
that's the old school.
the
yeah.
label. Yes, and if you walk on, I've seen that on ships and boats.
Mhm.
They're still doing that. Just mark.
Because then you say, all right, so how many, I supposedly sold 6 scotches out of this bottle. Why is the whole bottle
That's
gone?
good. A big pouring.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to see, I'm going to check how many things, and I'm going to see how much you actually poured out. I'm going to compare the two.
Yeah.
Why is the bottle so much lower than it should be?
And you know how important it is, especially on the wine. I say, okay, I'm going to do 4.5 to 5 serving per bottles.
Right.
And that justify the cost on the wine list.
Yeah.
And if you say, oh, I don't make enough money on the wine by the glass, you have to charge more. And if you charge more, you sell less.
All right.
So It's very important.
And then
you
it
know.
goes into the inventory question because, unlike liquor, that wine goes bad. You've opened the bottle, and I only sold 2 glasses of it, and I got to throw the whole thing out.
And so for that, people, some restaurateurs are going to say, well, I'm going to try to triple the wholesale cost or quadruple the wholesale cost so I don't lose money.
Right.
Well, yeah, but you lose sales.
Yeah.
So people, so they don't order the second bottles or they don't
None of
order
this
the
stuff we're
second
talking
glass
about
of
has
wine.
to do with the fun of cooking.
Well, I mean, owning a restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why you have to be careful. You're not just in the kitchen if you own a restaurant.
Right.
You have to watch all these things.
Is that why many restaurateurs, in your opinion, open restaurant, I'll say in pairs and partnerships? Somebody handles the front of the house, the customers, somebody handles the back of the house, and somebody handles the books and the numbers.
If you know someone you can trust, someone who has worked with you in other places, that's perfect because, but the best partner sometimes is your spouse.
Is who?
Your spouse.
Oh, your spouse.
Yeah. So because you work for both.
They won't steal from you. They're stealing from themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Hopefully.
And
Hopefully.
So, but also I was going to say that.
Hopefully. My wife is stealing from me. Oh my goodness.
What are you doing? Oh, I'm smoking it.
But I've seen. We talked about an old restaurant that you were both familiar with, Chez Melange in Redondo Beach. I don't think it's there anymore. Was there for a number of years. Well respected
Ken
restaurant.
Frank, yeah.
And Michael Franks and then
yeah.
Robert Bell in the
Yeah.
back. And they had a perfect partnership for many years. Robert Bell
Yeah.
did. He was the chef,
Mhm.
and he didn't come out of the back. And Michael Bell or Michael Frank was in the front of the house. He greeted the guests, and
Yes.
I don't know who handled the books, but they split those duties. So somebody was the creative partner, somebody was the business partner.
Well, it's very important to have also someone who connect with the guests.
Yes.
And I personally like to connect with the guests as well. So I was probably one of the first chefs in Southern California that came out of my kitchen every night
Wow.
to meet every single table.
Because most think of the restaurants you've been to, even really good restaurants. Do you ever
Yeah.
see the chef? No.
No, and sometimes you don't be afraid. If you're proud of what you serve, you shouldn't be afraid. See what I mean? So they bring your desire to do good because you want to meet guests with a smile. Huh? And but I still want to go back to some numbers, some key numbers. If you
Okay.
open your own restaurant, if anybody,
We haven't scared you enough.
not yet, but key numbers.
All right.
Rent
Rent, huge.
10% max.
Of your gross?
Gross.
Okay.
8 to 10%. If it
All right.
goes above, there's some company in our county they're going to charge you 15%. to
Let's
start
let's
with.
stop you right there for one quick second because that's what killed most independent restaurants here in Southern California. The rents have gotten so ridiculous. When I did my restaurant, I don't know what you were paying. I don't know if you'll even tell me, but in the 80s, but in the 90s when I had the sports bar, we were paying $1 a foot for 5,000 square feet, plus triple net, so maybe it was $1.50.
Yeah.
Today, that same space should be what, $5, $6, $10, $8 more? Somehow I'm out of
Well,
touch.
Or on, it is more than that. I cannot give you an exact.
So
because
whatever you paid at
every landlord that is on
Pascal's,
charge.
which was what, over off of Bristol or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Imagine if that space was still available today, what would
Well,
that cost?
Actually, the key of the cost is also to increase your sales.
Well, clearly, but most
So
of us.
that's why I say 10% if you can.
But could you justify opening Pascal's in the same place? Could you make, if the rent's 5 times, 6 times as higher, could you crank out 5 times the sales, more sales?
No.
So the math just
No,
doesn't
but
work.
that's why there's once again I go back to the list. There's a cap that how much of increase can be done. It could be 1% or
Clearly.
2% a year, or every 3 years, something like that. So you can place a cap.
Did you ever have a restaurant, because you owned several, where you had percentage rent? If you made more, you paid more?
Yes.
I don't think they do that anymore. I don't think any
Oh,
landlord
yes.
does that.
Oh, yes. There's some places like that.
So they start you low and they say, but if your sales go up, you got to show us what your sales are, and then we pay more.
Well, that's part of negotiation when you renew a lease,
Right.
and they already know how much money your revenue the restaurant is. Sometimes they come back to you. Okay,
We had a guy, Barry, who does commercial, showing commercial real estate. He mostly owns apartments, but he owns some commercial rental centers and stuff. And he told me, it was a couple year or two ago, he said most of those have gone away. Most landlords don't want to do percentage rent anymore. They don't want to do the hassle of trying to, are you lying to me and how much you really make and all that. That used to be a common feature in restaurants. I don't think that's much of it.
It's usually for sure a base. I don't want to do percentage between you and the landlord on the top of it, but not they are just percentage.
I didn't know how we got into a show about the mechanics of owning or about the numbers, but that is what kills restaurants.
So
numbers kill
now
restaurants.
notice rent, labor,
Oh,
30 to 33% max.
and is that possible with the new labor laws that require you to pay more?
That's why we have problems now.
Right.
So so you cut on labor, but you cut on production,
Right.
and you cut on quality labors as well.
Right.
So you hire people who are not as
No
qualified.
experience. Right.
Instead of a very good sous
So
chef.
between higher rents, which have, I'm going to say from your day and even my day have gone up 3, 4, 5 times what they used to be. I don't think the sales have increased 3, 4, 5 times. And then the labor cost has gone up dramatically over the last couple of years. How can a restaurant, just those two factors alone, how can they survive?
One more factor.
Oh, one more, okay.
Food costs.
Oh, well, yeah. And that's
Don't
gone up,
forget
I'm told.
food costs. So, food costs, you good if you are in the 20s.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
If you go 30 and above, then you're in trouble. Well, you may be making it, but there's nothing left for you.
Same thing with the bar and pour costs, the same thing as food costs. How much you paying for it and what percentage of it. So if you sell it for $10, you better not pay more than $2 or $3 for it.
So the key also, all right, you have a vision, you want to open a restaurant, you have a style of cooking, and you want to, these days, everybody wants concept, new concept.
Yeah, right.
Either it's fusion cuisine or the chef, okay, I'm going to do this style of serving, service, and I want to do just a 5-course meal, that's it, no a la carte. Yeah. So this is fine, The key is to make sure you are recognized that you are set apart of the competition. Competition is good because competition makes you creative.
Clearly.
I love competition, and
you get stale otherwise.
But I never really had competition.
No, not when you were, because you were alone. You were a pioneer. There were no people,
but
very few doing what you did. A couple.
You have to figure out to be ahead of your time.
Yeah.
So you have to come up with something that is not done. People say, "Oh, there's something new there. Oh, they do winemaker dinners. Oh, the chef is doing some tableside cooking, cooking demonstrations. All these things set you apart. Wine pairing was a big deal, and now it's all over the place.
Can I give you an example? So I moved to Orange County in the 80s, early 80s, right, from L.A., and it was a culinary wasteland. It was just fast food. It was suburbia. And as restaurants started to open up like yours, and some others, I didn't care if it was different. I was just glad there was some place to get good food. Oh, finally, there's a good Chinese restaurant or Mexican or French or Italian. Finally. So it didn't have to be different than any Italian or French I'd ever had. I wanted something. It filled a void. But if you want to open the second or third or fifth or 15th Mexican restaurant or French restaurant or Italian restaurant, you better be different than the other 14.
Yes, and you have to bring, maybe the base is the same, because the people, they always want to go to the enchilada, but you have to serve the best enchilada available.
Right.
I mean? And you cannot just serve tacos, because now you have great fast food tacos, so you can't run a restaurant based on tacos. But I would say also, you have to change menus. You have to bring varieties, more excitement, but you have to keep what brought the first client in and keeping coming back. It's very important. So never change 100% of your menu. I will say you change 50%, the max, because you have a mindset. Say, I want to go back for Pascal Sivas. I want to go back for the New York steak au poivre from Pascal.
But if you're not selling enough of it, do you just drop it and go back and give them the same old that everybody else is doing?
No, well,
That's a tough question.
You're already a part.
Right.
All right. So actually, I never follow trends. I never do, because if you follow trends, you just go and then move to the next trend. And then if you follow a trend, I mean, you just pair with the competition. So you have to be set apart. But you also have to be consistent. The most successful restaurants that have been around for years are the most consistent. Why Laurie's Prime Rib still exists?
Right.
They've been doing that
forever.
for decades. Why Five Crowns still exists? The menus, are unbelievably
And why does
classic,
fast
good.
food exist? Because it's predictable. It may not be all that great, but you know what you're going to get. It's
Yes.
predictable. It's consistent.
But I won't mention a name. But I don't eat much burgers. But there's one place I want to go regularly, and because it's consistent, quality is high, and they are set themselves apart.
Oh, now everybody's going to write in and want to know what Chef Pascal's favorite burger is.
Follow me.
Okay. I think it's harder than ever to be a restaurateur. Higher rents, higher food costs, higher labor costs, more competition, got to be unique. And I think too many people come out and think it's going to be fun. I love to cook. People will just flock to this place, and instead the failure rate's got to be 80, 90%.
Yeah, but if you're a good chef, you like competitions on your own. It's like you're running not a marathon, sometimes a marathon, but you're on a track, and then you want to run on the last. You want to be the first one at the final on the line, but you also have to be able to reinvent yourself.
That's true.
In case, I would say take
Keep it fresh.
the example of COVID. Right?
Oh, COVID made them all have to figure out what to do. Can't come in the
Exactly.
restaurant.
I know a lot of restaurants suffered from it, but quite a lot of restaurants reinvent themselves. And
I was surprised as many made it, because there were doom and gloom predictions at the beginning that if this lasts, you're going to see 50, 60, 70, 80% of these restaurants fold, and they didn't. So that's a credit to them being adaptive.
I have to say, I made more money during COVID than I did before.
Really?
Not that much more, because I could not have much labor, and instead of serving tables, I don't have serving staff. I sold food from the back door of the kitchen.
Straight to the public.
Straight to the public, because the public couldn't go to a restaurant.
Pick it up.
But they still wanted to eat good food.
Yeah, right.
So they pre-ordered and pick up at the back door of my restaurant.
How long was Pascal's, or you had a couple versions of it? I forgot how long you were in business. How long was
35 years.
35 years.
Yes.
I'm laughing because I can't imagine most restaurants lasting 35 years today because of all the things you said. The competition, the changing, the problems of adapting, of keeping it fresh. The restaurants of yesterday that could have long runs, I see fewer and fewer of them.
Yeah.
They come and they go.
And believe me, you also get tired, and
Sure.
then even your own restaurant say, okay, it's time to change. Can you do
I
something
don't know that
else,
I'd go to the Five Crowns because to me it's kind of an old. I'm not putting down the Five Crowns, but they've been doing what they've been doing for a long time. It's kind of the same old.
I
same
know,
old.
but you know, you know what to expect,
No question.
and you go there. You know that we're going to have fantastic prime rib, they have fantastic mashed potato, and the service. Don't forget the service.
Clearly, but have you seen the number of famous restaurants that have folded in the last 6 months or a year? In LA, the old pantry that was open
Yes.
for 100 years, the place where they made Philippe's, or where they made the French dip sandwiches.
Is
and
it
stuff.
close?
Yeah. Philippe's, yeah.
Wow.
That was there for 100 years. There's a bunch of them I'm seeing, and I think it's a combination of all the other things you're talking about. Been there too long, didn't adapt, and too expensive, too hard to be in business today.
So I don't know where the police and the fire department is now. They used to hang there.
I
all
used
the
to hang
time.
out. Certainly,
Well,
certainly
the French Jeep and with your feet on the sawdust. You know, I love that place.
I love
So
that place
special.
too, but I'm pretty sure, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they've closed or are closing. I read that. All right, well, we have to close up the show. I'm sorry I took you in a whole different direction, but I think it was fascinating
Well,
to get your insight
this
into
is the real behind the kitchen door.
really behind the kitchen door. Exactly.
Oh, one thing I want to talk. We need to be involved in the community.
Oh, yes, right.
This is why chefs and restaurants more and more these days are helping charities to raise money.
And let's talk about the one that's coming up this weekend
Yes.
for KidWorks, where you and I will be there
Yes.
interviewing people, and you can come meet the chef. And it is at, let me get the info
It's
here.
a festival of chefs
Festival of
at
Chefs.
Newport Beach Country Club.
It is, for those listening later, we're doing this on the end of July. So this is going to be Sunday, July 27th at the Newport Beach Country Club. Tons of chefs there. I don't know what the cost
35, 40 chefs. 45
I'm sure it's not
maybe.
cheap to get in, but it's all for a
It's
good
not
cause.
Question on the
KidWorks.
price. You give money to a great charity. KidWorks is an unbelievable
It's a
place.
30-year-old Santa Ana-based nonprofit that provides students in under-resourced neighborhoods in central
Yes.
Santa Ana with holistic programs
Full
and experience.
education and go to the top college in the country.
So to support, this is their big fundraiser. We encourage everybody to come out and support it, and if nothing else, taste what's happening here in Orange County and meet the great chef Pascal in person.
Yes, and Paul will be there
Well.
holding a microphone.
Exactly, like I am now.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody.
We'll see you this Sunday, or we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Well, there you have it. A little taste of what's behind the kitchen doors right here every week on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation.